Well, here's the e153 mr2 turbo 5-speed transmission after I cleaned the hell out of it. It is fairly clean, as you can see. I've also removed the shifting lever. That little pin wasn't the most pleasant thing in the world to get out. I haven't taken the speed sensor or the, where is he? Neutral safety switch or the speed sensor off just yet. I'm about to do that. I wanted to make sure the case was like fairly clean so I don't drop like tons of crap in the holes that are going to be there. I also put the axle stub back in while I was cleaning it so I didn't fill the trans up with water and shit. So, alright, now you can see I have the fifth gear cover removed. I've already taken out the where is he? The shifter shaft, control arm, whatever you call it. That came out with this lock nut right here and these 4 nuts. You gotta make sure it's in neutral, and then it'll pull right out this side. Of course, you obviously have to have the bell crank taken off. Then there was 10 bolts, all of which actually had some pressure in them. It's kind of weird. I think somebody used some thread sealant, probably unnecessary. I'll take a look at the casting. I doubt I would do that again. They're also pretty gross looking. And these guys right here. I don't know if you can focus on that or not. Anyway, they're all oxidized and covered in some sort of crap. Also, the case cover didn't want to come apart, so I used one of these guys, a big ass chisel with a really dull point on it. The case has these tabs right here, like all around it. So I guess they were Toyota was kind of thinking you're gonna have a bitch of a time getting this thing apart, so they put these tabs in it, and I just tapped on them persuasively, not too hard, and eventually that top came off, and then I just levered it off with some good old pry bars right there. Alright, so using a pin punch and a hammer and a little patience, I unstaked the nut here. Alright, and then in here, if you can't really tell what the BGV is asking you to do, is they're asking you to take these little forks, these 3 little forks right here, and push them up. Just push them up gently. It's going to take a little bit of force to do. You know, your finger's probably not going to hack it. You might want to use like a pry bar, maybe like stick a little piece of wood right here or something so you don't screw it up. I just used the handle of a hammer and a you know, medium length pry bar. And then while I was rotating on this nut after I'd unstaked it, and you can see like it didn't take very much to crack it loose. So here I got the Harbor Freight puller set. I tried this guy, don't waste your money on it, the $12 alternator, whatever, power steering pulley puller. The little teeth there are too fat, so they actually don't fit. I can't really tell, but they actually don't fit underneath that lip that we have to get the puller on. So this is really a bearing separator and puller, but it should work for this. It does fit underneath that lip, so I'm going to give this a try. Let's see if I can get this set up. So a little TV magic later, and with the aid of my air gun basically, I got that 5th driven gear off of these splines right there. So, yes, a little bit of force is required definitely to pull this bad boy off of here. I'd say if you had a hydraulic gear puller, that would be awesome. Or if you had that SST that you're supposed to have, you know, if you work at Toyota or you're just gifted with hundreds and hundreds of dollars of extra money sitting around doing nothing better than using specialty tools, buying specialty tools you probably never use more than once or twice. Go for it. Otherwise, cheapy Harbor Freight bearing separator puller set. Cheapy air gun, well, Ingersoll ran. And goodbye gear. Next is measuring the tolerances on the drive gear right here. I need to find the clearance up and down. Should be hardly anything, almost imperceptible by hand. And then also in and out there for the oil clearance. In and out, up and down, in and out. So I'm gonna go get my dial gauge. Alright, so here you can see my dial indicator setup. I got them on a nice sturdy magnetic base. got that turned on there. I got my dial indicator more or less straight. Get him straight on here. Get the man to business. Alright, now he's straight. I'm going to go ahead and take this and just reset it. Move this face over here. Since these measurements are in the thousands, we don't really care about the whole full rotation. So you can see I've moved that now over to the 0. I'm just going to grab this bottom gear and pull up on it until it separates from the oil separates. So you can see there, maybe you can... I got about 17 thou. No, it's about 12. I really push it about 15 maybe. About 15 thou. So going to the BGB, our maximum spec in here is 39222, so 22 thou is our max, so we're right in there about 15. Looks good. Next up is the oil clearance, which would be the opposite motion and the in and out this way. So let me get that set up. So this is how that would get measured. I can't measure it while I'm holding the camera, but I'll tell you right now it was about 1 thou. I couldn't pull any more out of it than that. It's a little difficult to get a good reading. You got to keep that gear real still, otherwise your dial indicator pin's going to climb up those gears. So got to keep it real still and really feel for the play while you're watching it, and kind of, you know, take a little grain of salt. Our max there is 2 thou, so I'm 1 thou. Minimum is 0.4 thou, so 4 10,000ths, right? So I'm right there, right in the middle. So it's good to me. This gear set's looking really good, actually. Alright, so I'm done measuring all those clearances, and now I've taken the snap ring, this little guy, off of right here. It goes right around that. Took them off with 2 screwdrivers and a plastic mallet, just like the BGB says. And here I've got actually it's a harmonic balancer puller, but you can use them for like all kinds of different stuff. That's what I bought mine as. Came in this nice little set quite a long time ago. Anyway, it just happens to come with the appropriate bolts and just fits right in there. They say, you know, use some SST, blah blah blah, just like I say with everything. But I'm gonna go ahead and go at this guy with my air gun, because I'm not gonna waste the the trouble using the wrench like I did last time. It should come right off. So next I've taken off the 7 Torx screws that hold on this bearing retainer plate, and it just pops off just like that. Set that aside. And in here we got some shims. So you don't want to lose these shims. These will sit on top of one or both of the, and maybe multiple, just in case there's only one. And then I can feel, okay, and not on the big one, so a little shim goes under that plate. So I got a snap ring right here on this bearing that I have to take out with my snap ring pliers. Not a traditional snap ring, it's that annoying ass beveled kind. So that'll be nice and fun to get back on here. Oh, luckily it's really loose feeling. It's not broken though, which is good. I don't know why it would be, but oh, it's nice and easy. Snap ring. So now I have to remove the snap rings from all of these little shafts right here, all the shifter shafts. I have removed the, there we go, kind of hard to get in the frame, the plug right here, the little ball right there, and this little tube has a spring in it, which you can't see, it's really just, there we go. So that just came out just like that, in that order, using a little magnetic pickup tool. And that's this little plug. It's located right here, right on the edge of where the case opens up. Now I'm going to remove the reverse idler gear shaft retaining bolt, which is step 20. And that's a little bit further down. Should be right about right here. So we grab our little socket here. Don't forget your favorite beverage. Wine in a jar, beer, soda, water. What a proper tea. Alright, I'm just being silly. Ah, it's in there pretty firm. Alright. No, that was just a bolt. Nothing exciting there. And 21, remove transmission case. Alright, now I know this is the part everybody's been watching for here. So we're going to remove the 14 bolts from the transmission case side and tap off the case with a plastic hammer. Get this out of the way. I've been using these C-clamp vice grips on the edges of the trans so it doesn't turn around while I'm turning bolts and stuff. Old trick I learned from my pappy. Not really. Alright. Flipping. Not very much lighter yet. Favorite beverage? $4.50 for an organic wine. Not the worst one I've had. Not the best either. Okie dokie. Alright, I am going to go at this one because I don't want to wait. These are going to be probably kind of tight. Just go gentle. I have kind of a pansy ass air wrench too, so hold your ears. Okie dokie. Take these guys out. 1, 2. These are the same funky discoloration green shit. Ugh. What the hell is that from? I don't think they had. Ugh, God, that's. Ugh. Why did I smell that? I don't think they had green Loctite back in the day, so I'm sure that's probably just some sort of funky ass corrosion, mold, nasty, God only knows what new life form discovered on Mars. I had that shit growing in my AC evaporator one time. It wasn't green, but it was definitely a new species. Alright, flip this guy back over. Just a minute, you're gonna get to see you some tranny porn. All those gears all hanging out and shit. That's what everybody's been watching these videos for, so they can see the guts. Show me the guts. Like a automotive version of an issue of Barely Legal. Actually, no, this thing is what? 19, yeah? 19 years old, so I guess it would be pretty much that category. Or pretty much anything out of Czechoslovakia or Russia. Anyway, I digress. Alright, let me get an extension. Extension. Where's my extension? Hello, extension. Was that 14 bolts? Yeah, like the other ones, they're probably all the same length, so we don't have to worry about the order. Yes, they are. And these all have green shit on them too. So you're probably going to look into what in the hell that is, because it's probably not a new species. It's probably just some crap I'm not aware of. No, they don't go through any sort of oil sealing passageways, so I don't think it's any kind of thread sealant. Steel going into aluminum, you want to use either an anti-seize, which in the case of a transmission, maybe it's not the best idea because you don't want them to come out. But a thread locker component, part like a green Loctite or a blue Loctite, I wouldn't use a red steel into aluminum because it might never come out, or if it does, it might take the threads with it. Hint, hint, guys. Blue or green. Oh, I missed a bolt. And then that also protects the threads from galling and also helps with the bimetal corrosion. Helps to eliminate it. Okie dokie. I will definitely need to do that with stainless steel, because stainless steel actually makes the aluminum oxidize faster, saving itself a little bit. Alright, now it looks like I got all the bolts. So I see the 3 were from that other side here. Looks good to me. Okie doke. Now, I'm sure this is going to come off with a fight. I just know it. Don't expect that. This top case cover came off like hell, so I'm sure this will be just as bad, if not worse. Luckily, they gave me little points I can hammer on. Hooray! This is making a weird noise. The hole is making a weird cricket noise. Listen to this. I don't know where that pressure is coming from. From one of the case holes. Weird. Well, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the that top case cover, when I pulled the bolts out, a lot of them went psst, like there was pressure built up in them. Probably from that sealing compound. Probably pressurized the aluminum. Gotta be a little careful with that, because you build up enough pressure, you can actually crack a casting. Not like hitting it with a chisel can either. Pry bar action! Wonder if they got some of that on that zombie stripper movie. Still gotta see that. Heard it's really retarded, but I'm in for a good watch, I'm sure. Janet Jameson doesn't disappoint. Alright. Oh yeah, fucking A, man. This is not gonna happen. It's just not happening, man. It's not happening. Oh yeah, it is happening. Hell yeah. Yeah, note to self, do not use 3-bond on this thing unless you don't ever want it to come apart. I'm sure that's not what they used, but just a self-reminder there. Leave the side of whack, now it should pop right up. Yes, indeed. Well, I could have missed it. I think I saw it. It wouldn't have been a happy thing to beat on with a snap ring in place for sure. Screwdriver assistance required. So you just saw me rocket that snap ring off somewhere. I have no idea where it went, and if you could see what's behind me. You see why I'm not going to go looking for it, being as it's probably $1 part, and probably not a bad idea to replace anyway. Although it is sliding out, so I don't know. Figure it out in a minute. Get this bastard apart. Pry action. Little pry bar action up in here. Yeah, see, a little pry bar. Delicate procedure for something that's so beefy. There we go. Ta-da! Transmission. Ooh. Get a load of that. Black nastiness. Alright, so this is the e153 differential. Final drive gear, ring gear right here. Got our tapered roller bearings. Feels pretty good. Everything's nice and oiled. I mentioned the possibility of water incursion in here, and I could really see it. I'm not seeing anything right now, but the other case had some evidence. So I don't know what that's. God, I guess. Oh my God, is that sludge? Holy shit! This is sludge. That must be the magnet right there. Jesus. All right, so something's worn. Yeah, that's my magnet. Look at that. That's the magnet. Well, I mean, it's underneath all of that. Good Lord. Luckily they have one though, because obviously it's needed. Certainly don't need it to polish our gears at all. So, God, it seems hard to really get into focus very well. Come on, focus. Focus on something. There we go. Good boy. You can see those teeth, there's a little bit of wear right here on those teeth. And you can see the kind of milky, now maybe you can't. It's a kind of milkiness to that trans oil. It looked like a cappuccino when I drained it, so generally a bad sign. Look at that. I don't know if that's wear or marks. Yes. They look very even. Interesting. I'm gonna do a little homework on that one. I'm no Toyota Trans, or really any Transmaster for that matter. Alright, so our first gear is down here, this big guy. And he starts up over here. Little teeny weeny biatch right there. That's our first, second, third, fourth. There's a reverse idler. One of those is a reverse idler. Now this is, here it is. This is our reverse idler. So, alright, I guess next up is pulling out the shift forks, the oiling components. These are our shift forks right here. Taking out our shift forks and our oiling components. And you can see this is where the shifter goes. This little get up right here. There's the reverse relay lever right here. A little stand looking thing. It plugs into our shift lever over here. So intricate. I love a transmission, it's like a watch. And I didn't notice, you guys might have noticed this already. I'm sure I'll get flamed for not seeing this shit, but you see right here? Okay. Yeah, it's missing the freaking shift arm. So, shifting problems much? Well, so I went around and I looked over here and, well, there's the normal end of it, relatively normal looking end of it. And then I looked down and this guy was hanging out just like this. Just like fucking that. It fell out. This is half of the friggin' shift fork. Look at this thing. That little squared out piece is where a gear just ate at it, just like right there. Just booyah. Yummy. Aluminum. I'm sure that's probably what a lot of that, well, no, I would say a lot of the crap on the magnet, but this is all aluminum, so it's just been floating around in there, I guess. God, how do you do that? How? Alright, so I went ahead a little bit. There's 2 bolts securing this little dude over by the reverse bracket, and then down here by the pump itself, and then it just wiggles out of the pump itself here. After taking that guy out, I also took out the oil pump drive gear. It just pulls right out. Then you take out this reverse idler arm right here. Just 2 bolts, take that out real easy. Then your reverse idle gear, you just pull this shaft up and then the whole assembly will just move out of the way. So that's where I'm at right now. You can see reverse is gone. Used to live right here. The idler arm used to live over here, which was operated by this guy right there. Alright, and the oil pump tube goes into here, number 2 oil tube they call it. Drive gear goes right there, runs against the final drive. So, this is my reverse idle shaft right there. So that's all out. So here we are. I got out the shifting assembly here. I have it kind of laid out like I got it. Minus this pathetically trashed number 1 shift fork. Guess somebody was in a real hurry to get into first gear. Or out of it, I guess. That's probably more likely the idea. Probably slams into second. So, anyway, that's that guy. Luckily, what you're going to notice is all of these the spring and the little metal tube and the balls and the little plugs, they're all identical. So, it doesn't really matter. You can mix them up, it looks like anyway. Same spring pressures and shit. So, this is where we're at now. Hopefully that fan's not too loud. It's freaking hot in my garage right now, even though it's like 9 o'clock at night. Oops. Alright, so there's my input shaft, output shaft, the final drive differential hanging out. These are the holes where the shift shafts went. And then the little plug holes that held the retainers for them, and also for their selections. So, well, that's that. I'm going to go ahead and take these shafts out now. So it says grab here, tilt, pull a little bit, I guess, I don't know, wiggle a little bit, whatever tickles or tickle, and kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Didn't come out with too much argument. Input shaft. Output shaft should come right out. Also tilt the differential, tilting. Or I wonder if I can just pull it all out at once. Yes. But I won't be able to lift it all at once. Alright. And now, final piece. Literally, the final piece. Toyota differential. Ta-da! A big old plastic Speedo gear on there. A blue gear. That's for our Speedo pulse generator. Stock open differential. Hopefully, Quaith thought about the whole speedometer thing and actually put a spot to put that on there. I didn't look at it. But I sure do hope so, because otherwise I'm not sure how I'm going to get my speed. So, alright. And that wraps it up, I guess.